What's up, developers? Welcome to Talking AI, where we break down the AI news that actually affects your code, your wallet, and your weekend plans. These AI companies are severely outpacing this channel. OpenAI just dropped some numbers that make every other tech company's revenue look like pocket change. The ChatGPT maker is now pulling in $12 billion in annualized revenue, which means they're literally making $1 billion every single month. Let me repeat that, $1 billion every month. But here's the kicker. They basically doubled this revenue in just 7 months of 2025. Remember when we thought Netflix's growth was impressive? This is like watching someone go from selling lemonade to owning Coca-Cola in the span of a summer. Now, before you start thinking, wow, AI companies must be swimming in profit, let me give you the full picture. While OpenAI is raking in $1 billion monthly, they're also burning through cash like a crypto trader in 2021. Their projected cash burn for 2025, $8 billion. That's up a full billion from what they estimated earlier this year. It's basically like earning $12,000 a month, but spending $8,000 on rent, utilities, and that premium coffee addiction. Sure, you're cash flow positive, but your burn rate is aggressive. For developers, this means a few things. First, those 700 million weekly active users on ChatGPT aren't just casual tire kickers anymore. We're talking about enterprise adoption at a scale that would make Salesforce jealous. Companies are clearly writing big checks for ChatGPT team, enterprise, and API access. Translation for developers. If you're not already building with OpenAI's APIs, you're missing out on a revenue stream that's clearly working for someone. The writing's on the wall. Enterprise AI integration isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's table stakes. Plot twist. This massive revenue growth is happening while OpenAI is in the middle of the largest private funding round in tech history. We're talking $40 billion. With SoftBank alone throwing in $30 billion. That's more money than most countries' GDP. But wait, it gets worse, or better, depending on how you look at it. The entire $40 billion funding round comes with a catch that reads like a startup thriller novel. If OpenAI doesn't convert from their weird non-profit hybrid structure to a full for-profit company by December 31st, 2025, SoftBank's investment gets slashed from $30 billion to $20 billion. Imagine if your biggest client said, "We'll pay you $3 million for this project, but only if you incorporate by New Year's Eve, otherwise it's $2 million. That's basically what's happening here, except with an extra 0 or 3. Here's what this actually means for developers. OpenAI isn't just dominating the consumer AI space anymore. They're becoming the infrastructure layer that enterprise software runs on. When you've got 700 million weekly users and companies are willing to throw $40 billion at you, you're not just a startup anymore. You're becoming the AWS of AI. For the open source crowd, while OpenAI is printing money, remember that alternatives like Llama, Mistral, and Claude are still very much in the game. But honestly, when one company is generating more revenue per month than most unicorns are worth entirely, the competitive landscape starts looking pretty different. My take on all this isn't just about OpenAI anymore. When one AI company can go from 0 to $12 billion in revenue this fast, it tells us something fundamental has shifted in how businesses think about AI integration. This isn't experimental budget anymore. This is core infrastructure spending. The real impact? Your weekend debugging sessions might increasingly involve AI APIs. Your startup's differentiation probably isn't going to be, "We use AI." And your API costs probably aren't going down anytime soon. But actually, maybe that's not a bad thing. If enterprises are willing to pay billions for AI capabilities, there's clearly massive value being created here. The question is whether you're building on top of this wave or watching it from the shore. That's the TLDR on OpenAI's billion-dollar monthly run rate. If this saved you from reading 47 blog posts about the same mind-blowing numbers, hit subscribe. And if you're building something with OpenAI's APIs and riding this revenue wave, drop a comment. Would love to hear what's working in this wild market.